Welcome everybody to Into the Score. My name is Avishai Darash. I'm your host for this podcast. As always, Into the Score, we host an array of very interesting people from arts, culture, entrepreneurship, day-to-day politics, and everything in between. And today, I have the pleasure and the honor to have with me in the studio here, Yoav Kat, or JUSTiX.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
Man, thank you actually for coming last minute and for agreeing to do this. This is awesome. It's nice to have you here, man. I want you to tell me your story. Take me from the beginning.
My story. A big question, huh? But my story. Well, my story with the musical world, I would say, started as a kid in Israel that I was very blonde, but singing Eyal Golan and all the Middle Eastern music that I always really loved somehow. And it was also strange for people in Israel, like, you're not that type of character that would like this kind of music, etc. But I heard from my mom, you're such a musical, you know how to sing, blah, blah. So music was always around me. Besides that, my dad, when I was a little kid, used to work in a Waves company in Tel Aviv for the plugins and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Okay.
but really their beginning, you know. So I had already like DJs around, friends of him, took me to festivals, to places. It was around me.
Cool.
But never something that like, yeah, what is the relation for me to music? You know, it was really far, but always really interesting. And I learned a little bit piano, but then moved away because I said, I love drums. I want drums. But my dad said, no, first of all, piano.
Yeah.
And then it stopped. So I was into more sports, I would say, that guy. And then it got back with the trance music. So I was discovered.
Trance, yeah.
Yeah.
Or trance in general,
Yeah. That really blew my mind, and it kind of gave me the answer when I was in the first festival in the Netherlands, actually, called Psy-Fi. And that really gave me the answer, like, that's what I would love to do. It combines the music, it combines the community that I really feel into it, the message that it spread in the world, the vibes in it. It's super interesting for me, but what is the relation between me and electronic music now? Nothing. So that started already like to get really interest for me.
Yeah. But you're saying like basically when you came to the Netherlands to go to sci-fi, then like you got exposed to the fact that you want to become actually like a producer, creator, maker?
Yeah, kind of I had
What was before that actually?
No, I got to the Netherlands for work. I was, through the last 10 or 15 years, what I told you, more into sales, marketing. So I arrived to the Netherlands as a salesman. So I had the opportunity to make my living and travel around the world in different countries. So that was my early 20s. And I got a lot out of it, which also led me to what I'm doing today that we will talk about.
Yeah, sure.
The marketing stuff. But I went to the festival just to enjoy, but that really gave me the answer. If I would focus my life on this thing, on this music, or to start to be a musician and start to make art, I know that would give me what I'm looking to. And that was the first step that took me a few years to say, that's what I want to do. I want to become a DJ. I want to become a producer. Like, yeah, it was really hard to say it loudly, you know, to the world, to my family.
Was it scary, or what was the hard aspect of it?
Scary, of course, because normally what we would hear from our close people that important for us, oh no, go to study something more safe for you, of course. And that's how it was. And I said, listen, guys, like to my dad and to my grandma, you know that they are everything for me. if you don't support what I have in mind, what I would like to do is okay, but please don't tell me something else. I know what I want. I know my way. Please. And that's how it was. And then I came back to the Netherlands like 5 years ago. At the beginning, it was for studies, for media studies, and then Corona started, and I felt like, okay, if I'm not gonna take this career, let's say, if I want to run after a musical career, it has to start today when I was around 25.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, no more thinking, let's do it. And before I took a course in Tel Aviv, in like Electronic Music Academy course with...
BPM? Or?
It was not BPM, it was... smaller academy of the guy that I studied with, Azax Regev, the producer, also in the trance scene and stuff. And then I got the basics of productions, basics of music theory. So really the basics that I could, sit with my Logic Pro and start to experiment.
Experiment, yeah. And that's what led you actually to get into AEMA, right?
Okay.
Amsterdam Electronic Music Academy.
Yes. And then I started to have it as a hobby, the electronic music production. And what led me is not really to playing and mixing the music as a DJ and no, but more that I know that I have something inside of me to share with the world, to create. That was the thing for me. So first of all, I knew, I need to learn music. It's okay that I know how to create beats. That's one part, but if I want to take it to the higher levels, I know that I need to know music, the musical language. You cannot run out of it. And then it was a stage for me, I need to go to a school to do it professionally, to learn music, and no other way around. And then I saw the AEMA, the Amsterdam Electronic Music Academy. So I was looking online, what are the possibilities? And that was like, it's here in Amsterdam. I love the Netherlands. I want to continue living here. I want to go to that direction. That's also part of the university, part of the Conservatorium. So it's like, bingo.
Yeah.
But not so fast. So I tried for the first year, maybe it was 2020, maybe, and I passed the auditions with my basic knowledge of the music theory that I already knew, and started with online courses. So I was really motivated from the beginning. I have to do it. Doesn't matter how, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of knowledge from internet, from just practicing, trying by myself. And then I passed the auditions of the AEMA. But in the end, they have to choose really a tiny amount of people, so around 20 every year.
From how many are applying?
I know that every year it's getting more and more, but what I know from the last years, between 100 and 100, 150, 200 already I heard that when I've been there.
10%, wow.
It's really
tough,
it's tough, and it's small, and it's just the beginning of electronic music studies. So we know we have here also SAE in Europe, and as you said, BPM in Israel. So the DJing and the producing life, a career, is starting to be more and more popular. Of course, we know also here in the Netherlands, the Dutch producers. In the last 10 or 20 years, the DJs are the new pop stars.
Absolutely.
How to put it like that, so it's becoming more popular, but still really tough to get into their program. So I tried for the first year, nay. Second year, also passed the auditions, did all the process. In the end, no, sorry. Yeah, not easy, right? You get 2 times no. Maybe it's not for me.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then the third year, then it happened. So I tried another time. I understood how important for me is to have this kind of studies, either here in the Netherlands or I was already about to go to Germany even, doesn't matter. I have my goal, I'm going to do it. I'm going to study in a place that will give me all the tools that I need to be in the international level of producing music.
What did you do in these 2 years that you got rejected? What did you do to like better your chances of getting in?
Yeah, I just continue with producing, with learning from internet. I had already the group of connections from Israel, the academy. It was like a 2 months course that I took in Israel, in Tel Aviv. So started to be around it. Also something that I did in Israel like 6 years ago when I, just before I came back to the Netherlands, I said, okay, what else can put me into this world without actually playing now in parties or starting to play my music? I'm not there. It's just an idea. I said, okay. In my high school in Ramat HaSharon in Israel, I studied communications and radio. So that's also really connected to the whole story. I was a radio broadcaster in my teenager age in Israel. Cool. So had music programs, shows in the radio, in the regional radio, sports program, gaming program. I did a few things, and the music was also around it. And then I want to contact them again after a few years. I was finishing high school. I want to make PsyTrance radio show in this radio, and I will interview artists, which are mostly Israelis, in the scene. And that would already put me into, connections. How important is the connections in this world, especially in the music world. So I had a few months of this radio show, playing music, already starting mixing, and every week having a new interview with some DJ, with some producer. And you got a chance also to speak to very famous ones, I guess, right? Yes, to big ones. And I knew, okay, in the future, when I will be... when I will start my musical career, they will remember me. Oh, right, of course. How are you? Wow, long time. So those connections that you never know when it will be around you. So that was also an aspect of it. Tell me about, because you said you were into sales, marketing, all that stuff. Tell me about it. What is this trajectory in your life? As I said... Because this is also connected to the trance, like we're going to get to it, but you're working for very big artists. So that was already... you asked me what I did in those years between. So it was... for me, getting into the scene, no matter how, doing a radio show in Israel, starting to produce by myself. I was in a vacation in Hawaii that my mom lived there. I made Hawaiian-style trance music and sent it to labels. Most of them I got rejection, besides one that released this music. And that music I was also showing in the AEMA, a third-year auditions. And that led me finally into the studies also. So I was just continue, doesn't matter what. And they also saw it, how passionate I am about it. Doesn't matter, I'm gonna do it. And then I got into the studies. 2 years of... it's 2 years, the AEMA? The AEMA is 2 years. They are about to extend it. They want, but again, is about money from the government, university stuff. But for now, it was 2 years. So until I got also to the studies, I was working here in the Netherlands just as, something for living, nothing special. And I said, I'm wasting my time. I felt like, I'm making money for myself, but this is not about that. I need something that will be related to music. Doesn't matter how. But then I will know that I'm starting to fulfill myself, how to say. And that, through the connection of the academy in Israel, they were publishing an ad for an agency marketing company in Israel that working with big international artists from the electronic music scene. It was like, wow, this is, working online. I'm not over there, but working online, it's possible for me. I know that I have the background of marketing and sales that I'll say in short. So I worked in the sales in the Netherlands, selling even cosmetics, but...
Dead Sea products, right?
Dead Sea products, yeah. But also I had Facebook shop almost 15 years ago, selling merchandise and stuff. So I was always around it. And then I applied for this marketing musical company, and the beginning didn't get any response. And then second time, then it happened, and I started to work with them. And immediately it felt also natural. So I really liked what I'm doing. I have my freedom to work online. And working with huge artists that, by coincidence or not, they are exactly in the field, in the genre that I'm into it, the psychedelic trance music. So, one of them is Infected Mushroom, that they are huge band, big, not only trance, but generally in the electronic music worldwide scene.
Career over 20 plus years, right?
30 years.
30 years.
It's getting into 30 years.
Wow.
Their first album, 1996. So it would...
I think I remember that even,
Crazy. So they are huge idols for so many people. So I'm really lucky and feel, just feel lucky to work.
And then you have also Vinny Vici in that sense, right?
And
so, but did they get to you, or was it through that agency?
So through that agency we are doing many projects, and some of the projects are that social media management to the artists. And we have also other stuff like promoting also parties, but it's all around music. Yeah, it's creative musical marketing agency. Yeah, but naturally those projects of those artists, I just made them natural. So the company started to give me all the job about it to me. So it started to be my personal project in the company.
Okay. Are you still working with them, regularly? Okay.
Yeah.
So they bring you the traffic of basically the clients in that sense. They bring you the clients in that sense. But it's word
the
to
connection
mouth.
is through that agency, but practically I'm doing the job. And
cool. Cool. And maybe it sounds like a little bit of like a simplified question, but how important is marketing for the success of an artist? Yeah,
nowadays I think musicians don't realize, I would like to say 50-50, but today also I hear that the marketing is even more important, because we can have great music. There are so many great musicians out there in any genre, but a lot of them don't know how to put their art out. Yeah. And then, okay, if that's the goal, it's okay. But when we want to make living out of it, when we want to put our art to the world, we have to combine marketing. And we know that today it's all about the digital marketing.
Yeah, like basically working through these social media platforms to get to targeted audiences. the Meta Business Suite, all that stuff.
Everything
Which
that is
really
around it.
changed, right? In the sense, like we talked about it like last week, on the sense of you had to go and get like spots in magazines or outside billboards and all this, and now you just have this like directly in your account.
Yes.
You can do that directly. The more money that you put, or like the more targeted and better created in terms of these systems, the more people you can get to.
Yes. So traditionally, marketing was about, of course, TV, radio, so those typical mediums. And so everything has pluses and minuses. 20 years ago, it was much more difficult to get into record labels, releasing your music, being out there. You really had to be something special. So it was harder. Today, it's easier because we have everybody can just
Put their music out.
put their music out. You don't need to have a big studio recording. Anything you can do today with your laptop. And the marketing you can do by yourself because you open for free accounts and you can do your logo. And that's also something that you need to have all these abilities actually. Music today is not enough. Back to the question. An artist today should be a good marketer, should be a good storyteller. Really, we need to have all the umbrella. Of course, when we get to the higher levels, or if you have money to hire people when you are at the beginning, also fine. But most musicians don't have it at their beginning. And then it's like, yeah, what should I do? It's either I pay for someone, but I don't make money from my art. So, yeah. Or let's learn to do it by ourselves.
Yeah.
Musician, marketer,
Strategist.
you need to know everything.
Yeah.
Technical stuff, ideal, what the idea behind it, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why. Also, I think there's some people out there that they take advantage of this like ignorance and they offer these services to people, which I understand completely. It's just at the end of the day, the control that you have over your career, no one is gonna, let's say, have the same amount of desire of you succeeding like you yourself.
It's about ourselves, of course. All the successful artists, of course, they have a great team around them. Because again, when it's getting bigger and bigger, we need help and a good team around us. But at least for the beginning, you have to be in control on the whole business. And again, it's a business. When we want to make it professionally, it's about the image that we sell. Who are we? Why are you special? There are thousands of people that are doing the same every day. So many music released to Spotify every minute. That is
I think it was like
crazy.
160,000 per day.
I don't know, but I know it's totally crazy.
Insane.
So the amount of music that is out there, like again, there is the advantage and disadvantage about it. So much music, so the quality got worse, of course.
Yeah, diluted.
But that's 2025. We have to adjust ourselves. No other way.
Exactly. I mean, when you showed me how to run it by myself, like the ads and stuff, I was like, oh, this is what it is. I mean, it's that simple in the sense of it's all like centralized into one place. I can actually decide which kind of post I want to promote. What are my financial abilities in that sense, to which kind of spread, to who am I targeting it?
Of course.
So it became much more like individualized. Like you can really make it your own individual like brand in that sense. And how's it going? Like when are you thinking of releasing like your first big album? We talked about it, like we know each other. I mean, people could see that we know each other outside of this podcast. So
So, yeah, that's a good question because I'm just about, having some, like the music from the last year after the conservatorium that really gave me much more tools. And today I can say that I make my own music. Before I didn't feel like that because in the electronic music you have so many shortcuts in the end that I could take some other stuff, samples, and then you create a beat. And today, after the conservatorium, I feel like, okay, I make my music, I make the harmony, I make the melodies. It's all I write by myself.
Yeah.
I'm ready. So now I'm about, just to send to some labels, the people that I'm working with, they have a lot of power also in the industry.
How do you approach something like that? Like, you're working for someone.
Yeah, that's also...
Because it's very delicate, right?
Yes, it's very delicate. And that's why I didn't do it until today, even didn't tell them because I kept work is professional and my musical project is another thing. I don't need to involve it, especially on the beginning.
And you don't want to come off as like...
Yes, so...
Like scheming,
Yeah. But it's already time. It's like that's the time that I can already do it in a friendly way. And so if I have to put in mind my goals into albums and stuff, I would like to release in one of the big major labels in the scene, in the PsyTrance scene, in the next few months. It can be a few options through the connection that I have from those people. But those are the labels of Vini Vici, of Asterix, of... they have the connection to all of those.
They own these labels or they're connected to them? Because that's something that I also see.
Okay.
I see that happening also. I mean, at least for like friends of mine that are coming from the organic house and stuff, like they open their own labels now. And then all of a sudden it's like every like producer, they become big enough and then they open their own label.
Yes, so that's also getting back to what before we couldn't release by ourselves. It was only through big record labels. They control the industry, etc. Today, everyone can open their own record label. You can do it. We can release music to Spotify and all the streaming platforms without the need of anyone. So that's what's happening also with the big artists. At the beginning, you want the exposure of the record label because they have the name, and when you release on that specific label, okay, you get people knowing you, etc. But when you're big enough, you want that most of the money from the releases...
You want it coming to you.
Yeah, because it's not a small money, it's starting to become a big money. And that's, of course, make the living for the artists. Part of it. It's not only to release music today. Those artists that they already big in the scene, they open their record label and they release music of other artists, and they give the stage to young artists. And it's not only a record label, so it's a team of booking agency and management for the artist, so it's all together.
Yeah, so it's like a whole apparatus that they create there.
Yeah. And Israel, it's a small country, so with that scene, it's like everybody together, etc., etc.
Yeah. It's a small swamp.
Yeah.
And when were you thinking, like, do you have something already that you're ready? Like you're saying, okay, it's ready now. So, like, when do you know that the track is ready?
It's never ready. That's also a thing. I think it's ready when we feel that there is a start and there is an end, and you are sure about the whole thing. It's never perfect. It's never like the artist that you like, that they have the best mixing engineers and they do it for 20 years. So, but I think when we feel sure about it and complete about the product, the art that we created, then it's ready. And I have already, not one and not two pieces that I feel good about them. Because I started to play in the last few months in the parties and festivals here in the Netherlands, only my music.
Yeah.
So before it was combining mostly other artists that I like, kind of same musical taste to mine, but not my music. And people enjoy out of it. And I also like to play, it's fun. But I felt, that's not the essence of what I'm doing, why I chose to do it. And then after the studies in the Conservatorium, I said, okay, that's the time, doesn't matter the quality of the music now, it will not be like the other artists, not today, but I have to push myself to get out of this comfort zone, playing only my music, and that's already a big step that I took in the last 3 events that I played. And first of all, it gave me much more confidence about the music because I see it's working and the feedbacks that I get. And some people tell you such a fairy tale that you let us experience, like crazy words that we normally say to other artists, that they make us feel amazing in the experience. And now people start to say to me,
you in that way,
and when they understand that it's 100% my production, it's even more impactful. So, I know I was a few years ago really pushing myself to start doing it, and now I'm starting to feel it and to get the answers. Nice. You're in the right direction.
Great.
That's
great. And do you how much liberty do you take within your tracks to be able to like take them apart when you play, or is it like you just play from beginning till end, or you want to have this like freedom to just break them apart, combine them again somewhere else? You get what I'm saying?
And the way of mixing?
Yeah, the way of basically mixing it and the way of like basically building the set. Are you very rigid with it right now, or you're just like...
some DJs just going and play on the spot. That's what you mean. No, I'm still like in the stage. I'm really thinking about everything. I mainly mix harmonically also, because I know the difference when you go by circle of fifth, for example, and how natural it feels, the journey to the people when we are just uplifting and uplifting. That's also part of the music, just to go higher and higher and higher and more energy and more energy.
Until the foam comes out of your mouth.
So that's also something important, of course, to look for the harmony and the key that you are in. So I'm thinking about the whole picture and plan it ahead. Still trying, of course, different stuff. You always want to try different stuff. Always I have in mind to change a bit. You cannot do the same thing like yesterday. That would be boring. So we always want,
What do you think of the emergence of AI in this whole situation? Like, is it helping or is it not?
In the music...
music production, especially now I saw maybe in this thing of like the decks, the Pioneer decks, like you have AI in it right now that just like puts all your mixes together, just like does so much of your work.
Yeah.
That like it doesn't require much sensibility anymore from a lot of people. You know?
So again, it's easier maybe to do it for the wide general audience, I would say. But when you are in the professional world, also people see when you play a piano, like really a professional, or like a beginner. Same with the mixing and DJing. You have the the auto sync, in the DJ, so you just need to press a button and it's already on the beat. But you have the traditional to make it a manual without, and you have to mix to the beat perfectly.
Yeah, I remember that when we were practicing,
Right,
it was
right.
really like,
Yeah.
okay, you really have to put it together. And then I think, wow, people that do it like with turntables, for instance. Oof.
Yeah, now of course it's easier, but before when it was turntables and vinyls and stuff, it's really by the ear and
Yeah, and
really
technique, a lot of technique.
a lot of technique.
Yeah, I saw some, you can see on YouTube like people mixing crazy stuff, 4, 5, 6 decks at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
like they have this like full control. It's really like playing an instrument, and then
Yes.
then they're creating something that is completely new. Completely
Right.
new within,
Live mashups between tracks.
Yeah.
It's a whole mixing. It's a whole art.
yeah.
Yeah.
And where do you see yourself actually? What is the goal that you want to get to in 5 years? Let's say if you could actually envision that, like what is the thing? Which kind of life would you like to build for yourself as an artist?
I would like to travel every weekend and play my music around the world, make people happy, feeling good with my music, to transfer the ideas and and those vibes, that what attracts me, to share it with the world. Yeah, so basically,
To live the jet life of a DJ, like producer in that sense.
yeah, to be a full-time DJ producer, releasing my music in major labels, having collaborations with artists. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming to.
5 years, man.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, now it's 2025. Yeah, of course.
2030. And if it doesn't happen, then maybe one more year.
Maybe. But yeah, the time that it should happen, it will happen.
Yeah. Do you feel that the marketing experience and like everything that you're doing with sales, did it affect also the way that you create music also, or?
I don't know if it affects the way that I'm creating the music, but I know it affects my whole state of mind of musician today. What do I need to do? What's important? What's less important? So I'm aware about the other parts that that important in that puzzle. So every piece from that puzzle is important.
Yeah, no, of course, it's something so interesting that, like, I remember even from the conservatory, they weren't putting much emphasis on that. It was just like, play good and it will take care of you, and it's not necessarily, we're in such a changing world that it's not necessarily the case. Play good, of course, you gotta play good, you gotta play like,
it has to be a good product, but without a good marketing, it will not go anywhere.
It will not get to the right people. It's also because I believe there are so many people out there that realize that game and they put a lot of resources and effort in it, and then they take a big chunk of the market because of that, and then other people don't have that space if they don't do it like that. They just think, oh, let me just go viral with something,
Yeah.
Like, does it actually exist, going viral without putting any effort in marketing?
Organically going viral. Yeah, normally when it's happening, because it's organic, it's not about putting. So, just
but
make
like the artists that you're working with, for instance, they're successful already.
Yeah.
But they're still putting money, effort, time.
Yes, totally. But it's different. Of course, it depends the stage where you are. So the artists that I'm working with, they have already big audience and big name. And when you build yourself from scratch, of course, it's a different story.
Yeah.
But everything is important.
What do you mean everything is important? In the sense of like all these factors that are coming together, they have to be addressed.
Yes. So, yeah, for example, if you will go, I think that if you get viral, today it's only organic. Making marketing doesn't mean only the ad campaigns, putting money into it. No. Marketing strategy would start, first of all, from organic content. So if we talk back to social media and if you, some people or musicians also, and we'll get some tips out of it. The most important is the quality of the content that we put and the consistency in those platforms. Yeah. So putting an amazing video once a year will not be enough.
No.
So yeah, we really have to put consistently and sharing with the audience and feeling like we are already those superstars doing it. Sharing content, anything that we can have in mind. Bring your story to it. Be unique. Get inspiration from other people in the scene. Okay, what do they do? What kind of videos they do? Why do they put this event in that way? Why this reel? From anything we can get ideas and take it to ourselves. And that's super important.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like it's also like a never-ending beast, you know, that you have to feed it constantly. Like now I'm taking a little bit of break from it. I say with myself, I was like a year and a few months just every week posting and ad campaigns and selling and all that, and now I'm like, I can have a break, but like, no, you can't. You need to continue doing what you're doing constantly without a break, and it can get exhausting. What would be your advice to if someone out there feels burnt out, you know, from doing that, like constantly trying to beat the algorithm, trying to.
I think that anything that we do in life has to come easily in a way. Or we have to feel that we like to do it, that is not a chaos. If it's a chaos, then something is wrong. Of course, not all the time we do what we like, and sometimes we don't want to do it. That's part of the job, no? As a musician also, not all the time you want to practice, but it's important, no? If you're a soccer player, not all the time you want to play sports and to practice, right? But there is a reason why Cristiano Ronaldo got
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah, because he practiced more than all of them, even if he didn't want. Same with musicians, for sure. Even if you don't want, do it all the time.
Absolutely.
Same with marketing.
That's a discipline.
This is the discipline. So as much as we want more, as much as we have the fire more, then there is no question. You need to do it. This is part of the game. Like, okay, you know to sit on your computer, produce music. You know how to sit on the piano for a few hours a day to practice. We need to have a daily window for marketing.
Yeah.
Totally
it has to be like that. Totally agree. Completely agree. This is like a fixed question that I'm asking, but it's just I'm really curious about. If you had a chance to sit with Yoav that just came to Amsterdam before like making the decisions that you made that brought you to this moment, and you could sit with that Yoav, because you're here for 11 years, right?
So I moved to the Netherlands first time in 2014, and I lived here for a year, and then I was traveling and working around and came back in 2019. So I would say that I'm here for 6 years, 7 years with something.
Okay. Yeah. So let's say Yoav that is coming here like in 2019, back from all the travels, with all the experience that you have now, what would be the advice you would give that Yoav? If you could sit with yourself for a cup of coffee with all the knowledge you have today.
Maybe it would be funny to say, but I'm in the position that this Yoav would like to be now, you know? So I did and I still do the steps and...
That's a great realization.
Yeah, because... Yeah, a few years ago, again, who thought about me being a musician at the Conservatorium, starting to produce music, working with those musicians? No, I made a decision. It was... that was the big step for me to make this decision, hard decision. And I knew that if I would make it and if I would follow my heart in the end, listen to myself, it would take me to the right places. So I think that I'm doing good because I continue to...
So the advice would be just like continue doing what you're doing.
Follow your heart.
Yeah, follow your heart.
Follow your heart.
It's very generic, but I understand that.
Yeah.
After doing this podcast, like, I think it's number 18 or 19, I don't know anymore. It's really, it's such a cliche sound sometimes, you know, this like people say, follow your heart, stay authentic, be true to yourself, all that stuff. It is really a very important thing to remember because there are so many factors outside that are trying to keep you away from it. You know what I mean? Like, are you sure you want to make music? Are you sure it's safe? I don't know about that. Are you sure? It's like no one that I know of, at least artists that got into music or art or creative arts, they got into it because of the money, or they got into it because I don't know, because they wanted to have a really nice computer or something. You get what I'm saying? It's like they came from a place that is illogical, a place that is way more chaotic in that sense than logic. But they came from love to it, and they came from a very deep desire to be able to create it and share it with the world, instead of it being like a calculated decision of if I do this, then I'll be a famous DJ. Usually it doesn't last, you know?
Yes, if it comes from that...
Because if you got... think about it, if that was your motive, like this shallow, like I want to be a famous DJ or something, after the first rejection from AEMA, you'll just be like, you know what, it's not for me. You know, you know, like actually rejection in that sense is... In this sense, it was really testing your willpower. Koach ratzon, you know? It was really testing.
I believe that we have it every day, even in small examples. And every time I put it to myself, it's just a lesson. How much you want? Okay, prove it to yourself and to the world.
How much do you really want it?
Yes.
Yeah. To which extent, you know? Because it's not... I mean, it sounds very big, what I'll say, but it's not necessarily... in our favor as creatives, you know, like the world is not laid out in this way of like, yeah, of course, come and become a creative. That's like a lucrative, great job, you know. No, you have to really, it's a deep desire to be able to do that. And then it's also a deep desire to stay in this industry, you know, and not let it wear you down. It's a tough industry.
It's a tough industry because you would get much more no's than yes in that industry. So much competition, so much musicians. Back to what we said, that it's so easy today to become a musician. You talked about AI. The tools that we get today to create a song in a few seconds, very easy.
It's insane.
But so you asked about the AI. I think that in the end, it's another tool in our hands. In the end, music is about feelings, and we would have to manipulate those tools for what we have in mind.
Absolutely.
So it's not that now the whole music world would change, but some of the stuff become much easier to do. I like to get ideas out of it and to understand some technical stuff out of it also for the music. For example, something that I have in mind to combine with my sound signature and my music is healing quality, healing frequencies.
432 and stuff.
For example, they are it's such a big, it's so deep, like and theta waves modulate and stuff. So That's something for
LSD.
that's something, for example, that I started to look with ChatGPT. Okay, who else is combining healing frequencies? How can I do it? How can I combine it in the normal tuning that it will not sound strange, etc., etc. What this artist is doing in his production that is like that. It gives you so much information sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's not about the plugin or the tool, but
That's really a creative choice. That's
yeah,
really
it's about how we use it in the end.
Yeah. Man, bro, thanks so much for coming and doing it. We've been talking for an hour. So
Yeah, wow.
It's time flies, huh?
Yeah.
Is there something you would like to? It's gonna be out in like 5 weeks, I think. 5 weeks, yeah. So, if you want, you can talk to this camera here.
Just thank you very much for all the listeners. Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course. We're going to put all your links like in the description, both of Spotify and YouTube. So.
Sure, guys. Yeah, if you're into electronic music, sure, I would like to get some feedback. If someone also needs some marketing tips, always welcome to DM.
Absolutely. I mean, we're gonna, every week when the podcast comes out, we roll out like 5 films a day. Yeah, 5 films a day. So a lot of the subjects that we talked about today, they're going to be covered like in small snippets up to 90 seconds. Everybody, thank you so much for following us. Thank you so much for staying for this podcast and for listening to everything. Follow, like, subscribe. You know the drill. We have actually, and I said in a few other podcasts, we have about 95% of people that listen to the podcast are not subscribed. It's you there that is listening. Subscribe to us and get more high quality content. Thank you again, and we will see you at the dance floor.